All right, let's jump into it. Come on. What's going on?
Well, yeah, I mean, this all happened really spontaneously today. I came across your site. I literally just put in non-duality teacher London, and
Uh,
you came as like the first result. And
well,
I saw the link to Sailor Bob, who I've been had a couple of calls with him in the past before he passed away, and
uh, yeah,
been revisiting his stuff recently, and I just thought, okay, this is perfect synchronicity, so I just booked it in. I saw you offer, which is very kind, the 20-minute
yeah,
consultation. I just thought,
mm,
what's there to lose, essentially?
yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Uh, so that's kind of where I'm at. I've been listening to a lot of Sailor Bob recently, John Wheeler, David Bingham,
Nice.
all the same lineage, and now yourself as well. And just I think just looking for that final end to this nonsense of
All right,
suffering or the illusion of
all
suffering.
right, all right. Okay, so where are you stuck?
Um, Not like being able to see intellectually what's being pointed to, but having no change in the feeling state, and then that creates frustration.
Okay, what change in the feeling state are you expecting?
Um, Something other than horror and terror and depression and dread. Ideally. Um,
Do you feel that or do you think that?
it's a good point. I mean, it's not like, literally constant, of course, but I think the
Sure.
mind's attached to the idea that, like, so for example, recently was quite a big breakthrough. I was listening to John Wheeler, and, he just said the simple thing that you are prior to the mind.
Yeah,
Heard it, a million times before, but actually had the experience of that this time. I was like, oh, got it. Got it. I see. And then it was like the mind was like, I saw like there's like numerous bubbles in the room, and each bubble was a version of the mind going out, and then it just popped and came back, and it popped and came back. Was
yeah,
before it always felt like the mind was first and the presence was second, and
yeah.
it really got it. But then, of course, the mind was like, okay, and now what? Like, okay, like, um,
Well, let me
yeah.
ask you. Let me ask you. If I was to ask you, now what would you come back with?
It's a great question. I suppose logically to rest with that. Yeah, logically it would be to not turn away from it immediately and say, now what, but to stick with it.
The mind can say whatever it likes. The mind can say now what, but who cares? Who cares what it's saying? There's a presence here, right?
Yeah,
And you're being guided to that, right? Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Like if if God comes knocking, you better be home. Because if you ain't home, he'll just skip right on by you and he'll knock on someone else's house that's home. Now, what do I mean by that? If awakening is going to occur, you better bloody well be present because that's where it happens. God,
hmm
I hope that just landed. Doesn't matter about the mind. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what it's doing, what it's saying. The directness of this teaching is this presence, this beingness. That's why Nisargadatta said, stay with the I am. I am what? Present. I am. Stay with that presence. Yeah? Uh, you know, and even to suggest to stay with it is absurd. It's never not there. Where else do you experience presence other than here? Where? Where? Here. Here. Yeah. What happens? The mind becomes active and we get caught up in the mind. You get attached to that, the story of the mind. And we believe the story of the mind. Whereas this that's being sought is prior to mind presence. We can eliminate you easily. Let's do that. Yeah. Amnesia.
Okay.
Amnesia. Basic garden variety, ordinary, personal amnesia. If I could click my fingers and then right now you experience absolute personal amnesia, you don't know your name, don't know where you were born, don't know what you've ever done for a living, don't know if you've got parents, not got parents, if they're alive, you don't know if you're married or if you've got kids, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. Yeah? Don't know your name. Okay? Now who'd be sitting there? It's not like if I could create amnesia and you'd fall off the chair dead, right? That's not what would happen.
Yeah.
Something would remain, would it not?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that experience from having seizures as a teenager. When you come around, there's about 5 to 10 minutes where you don't know your name, you don't know anybody, but you're there. You're
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah. Good. Now what's there?
Yeah. Yeah.
All you could say, is that there is a presence, there's consciousness, there's awareness. That would be there. But you know, the Thomas story would be gone. Gone. Now, this presence, is it dependent upon the Thomas story?
Not at all.
Not
No,
at all.
not
Not one bit, zero. Yeah? But the Thomas story is completely dependent upon this presence. Because if you remove this presence, there's no nothing. There's no presence, there's no Thomas story, there's nothing. Yeah. So this presence is prior, it's first. This consciousness, this awareness, this beingness, if we want to call it that, is first. It's primary. Primary. Mind is secondary. Yeah. And the we're on this non-dual path. And we don't know anything about duality. Do you know how crazy that is? Duality is apparently the problem, right? Because we're trying to
yeah,
seek something non-dual, and there's a belief there that when that is finally found or discovered, yeah, there'll be no problems anymore. I'll be at peace. Yeah. So non-duality is not the problem. Duality is the problem. Right. What is it that functions dualistically? Question to you. What?
the mind.
Only. You've got to see that. Only.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Only. If you look out in the world, just look out in the world, yeah? What out there? What out there? Trees, the sun, the stars, the moon, grass, the ground, the soil. Yeah? What out there knows of duality? You think a tree thinks and knows it's separate from another tree? if, yeah, let's look at it like this. If the mind just completely stopped, if all thoughts completely stopped and stayed stopped, right? Yeah. Now, where's the separation out there in the world? Looking, right? There'd be, because seeing would still be happening. It wouldn't be a seer because the mind has stopped, but seeing would still be happening. Yeah. Mind has completely ceased. Zero thoughts. Hmm? Now, where's the duality out there? Where? What duality? This, I'm kind of doing a bit of a rapid fire thing with you because we only got 20 minutes, right? Let's look at the six senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, and thinking. Yeah, the six senses, right? Okay. Look around the room, that room that you're in. Yeah. Hmm. What does the seeing say about anything?
Nothing.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
non
nothing.
well, there's a non-dual experience right there. Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You see the difference? Yep. Okay, let's go to the hearing. Okay. There's sounds happening right now that you're aware of. Okay. What's the hearing saying about anything? Sounds happening, that'd be my voice going blah, 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 blah. What's the hearing saying about anything? Blah, 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 blah.
So nothing.
Nothing. That applies to the five senses: seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, and smelling. They're all a non-dual experience. It's only the sixth sense that steps in and says, I see a tree. I see a car. I see a person. I see the sun, the stars, the moon, the sky. That's mind. Mind is the dualistic instrument. Yeah? I'm here, yeah, and you're there. Two, here, there. Two locations, here, there. Me, you. Up, down, left, right, this, that. Angry, sad, happy, blah, 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 blah. Mind, mind. Yeah? You're not the mind. You're not the content of the mind. And the content of the mind is not about you. It's about itself. You've got to see that. The content of the mind's got nothing to do with this that's here being. Nothing to do with this. Nothing to do with seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. Nothing to do with this consciousness and this awareness. Nothing to do with that. Content of the mind is about the content of the mind. The story is about the story. It's not about you. And when I say you, I'm not referring to the character, Thomas. I'm referring to that is seeing, that is conscious, that is aware. The Thomas character can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. And the Thomas character is not conscious or aware. Why? Because the Thomas character is a product of mind. It's a product of thoughts only. Because in the absence of all those thoughts, with amnesia, Thomas disappears. Something remains. You getting this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The
Come to
mind's
understand.
trying to get in the way, but yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a truth here. There's a truth being revealed here. You just grab a hold of the truth. Don't give a fuck what the mind says. You know? Come to know what you're not. Be sure. Come to know what you're not. Yeah? You're not what the mind is saying you are. Yeah? The mind might say, oh, I haven't quite got this yet. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll jump online and I'll have a chat with Terrence. All thoughts, right? Just all thoughts. Yeah. And what the mind is saying, when it's saying that, none of that is true. That is being sought is already there. It's already there. That's being sought. It's already there. Yeah. The mind just says, oh, no, it's not. I'm not experiencing it yet. The mind can never experience it. The mind is not conscious. The mind is not aware. The mind can't see, hear, taste, touch, feel, or smell. Can't do any of those things. So it'll never get it. Do you understand? It'll never get it. It'll always come up with an objection. Yeah, but I haven't got it yet. Oh, it still feels like I'm here. And rah, rah, rah. Yeah. You know, can Thomas feel? It's a question. Honestly, if you believe Thomas can feel, say yes. If you don't believe Thomas can feel, say no. But don't be half-assed about it. Which one is it? Can Thomas feel?
No, the body can.
Can you feel a Thomas?
Can I feel Thomas? It does feel like there's a felt sense in the head of like mind energy. Yeah.
Good. But if Thomas can't feel, how could you feel a Thomas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
Exactly. I don't know what you feel.
Yeah, 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 good. Yeah. So the answer to both those questions is no, no. Can Thomas feel? No. Fuck no. Thomas can't see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. Thomas is not conscious or aware. Why? Thomas is a construct of thoughts. And we can remove those with amnesia. Then we don't know who's sitting here. Do you understand? It's this simple, yeah? Yeah. Can I feel a Thomas? If Thomas can't feel, you can't feel a Thomas. It's not rocket science. Done, done. Now the question becomes, is there feeling happening? And the answer is
Yes.
good. Now the question is, along the lines of exactly what we've just been saying, is it Thomas that's feeling?
No.
This is important. This is important. You're right on it. This is really important. There's feeling happening. There's seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling happening. There's consciousness. There's an awareness. There's a beingness. There's an aliveness here. And ordinarily we would say, that's me. That's alive, that's being, that's seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. And that's false. It's not me. It's that that's being sought. It's already there. We've just had a mind all our life from the age of 2, around the age of 2 years of age, saying, I am this presence, I am this, not in these words, but there's an identification by mind with this beingness, with this consciousness, with this seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. That's crap. None of it's true. Now see it. Now see it or know it. You want to use that word. Yeah. Or we could also say, well, we'll at least begin to understand this. Yeah. You got to, you must come to an understanding of what you're not. That must happen. If you don't, yeah, what you're not will continue to stay in search of what you already are.
Mm.
That's crazy. That's crazy shit right there. If you think about it, right? What you're not will go looking for what you are. This doesn't make sense, but yeah, it's all mind, Thomas. It's all mind. Yeah. Can you let go of that? Just let go. I'm not saying don't think. I'm not saying try to stop thinking. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying let go. Just let go. Thoughts might still be there. Just be free of the thoughts. Free. Yeah, okay, who cares? Whatever. What's this? Your direct line of inquiry is what's this?
What's this?
Yeah. What's this? Watch, see if the mind says this is me. When you go to what's this? What's this? Yeah. The mind should have at least an attempt to say, well, this is
Yeah.
me. Like, what a stupid question. What's this? It's me, Terrence, Thomas. And I want you to pick that up. I want you to see that that's what this will say. Do you understand? Then you need to challenge it. Really? Well, we can eliminate Thomas. Now what's this? With amnesia, right? With the amnesia pointer. Do you understand? Yeah. Eliminate Tom. Now what's this? It's not Thomas. Thomas is gone. Now what? Now what's this? This beingness, Thomas. Mind has identified this beingness and called it Thomas. And the beingness is not Thomas. Thomas is a character that's been created by thoughts and in fact has been put there from the environment, from whatever your family life was that you grew up in. You didn't even choose your bloody name. Do you understand? You've been conditioned to buggery, which everyone is, yeah, depending on your parents and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. You're none of that. How can you be responsible for the me when the me was put there? Think about that. How can you be responsible for the me when it was? If you were born in China, yeah, do you think that you'd have the same me that was there now? Do you think it'd be the same me?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
highly unlike.
Do you understand? Yeah. Depends on the environment. It'd be completely different. Yeah. Come to see what you're not. Come to understand what you're not. Yeah. In the understanding of that, you're left with what you are. Then the inquiry becomes, what's this? And it's and the inquiry into what's this isn't done with the mind. It's done from direct experience. It's like, here I am. Holy, whoa. But to get there, you got to know that this is not Thomas having an experience of this. Yeah? There's like an artificial you and a real you. The artificial you is Thomas. The real you is just this. Thank God. Because the real you is alive, conscious, aware, being, here, ah, breathing, smiling, laughing, feeling, touching, hearing. He's been taking just this to be Thomas, as everybody does. They take just this to be their personal self. And it can't be if you look at it. If you really look at it, can't be. How'd you go with all that?
It's yeah, it offers a greater depth to what has been kind of seen recently, especially a pointer about is feeling happening. That was a really, yeah, there's a felt sense, and that's a very different way of looking at it, and
Yeah, good.
spooky in a good way, in a good way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
totally okay. Yeah.
the only remaining question seems to be, um, you know, speaking of the feeling, for example, like, so let's say if the feeling could be described as uncomfortable, is it uncomfortable because the Thomas entity is still interfering, or is it just uncomfortable? And if so, then where's like the love in it, I suppose. That's
Okay.
what's
But
being.
look, but you missed something just then. There is no Thomas entity. Don't be confused. Don't be running on the belief there is one, and then eventually one day there's not going to be one and I'm going to be free. There's never been one. So all there is mind. There's not an entity. If there was an entity, Thomas, then that entity would be conscious and aware. You could see, hear, taste, touch, smell. If it was an entity, you see your question collapses if you look at that.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, if you're doing this to feel better, stop it. If you're doing this because you just simply want to know the truth, then move forward.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with you. You don't need to feel better. There's nothing wrong with you. Zero. You know, I can say that. You need to come to see that. Yeah.
So we don't need to like spend years processing emotions, resolving,
No,
trauma.
no,
God knows what.
you don't need to do that. But if that's happening, then that's what's happening. I'm not saying get in the way of that. If that is what's happening, it doesn't stop you from inquiring at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't fall into the Neo Invader trap. Oh, there's no one here, so I don't need to do anything. Fucking hell.
Yeah. No, I'm glad you said that. It's what's always scared me about non-duality, so to speak, and that's why I'm surprised I'm suddenly the past few months going down this road. So I was always very for exactly what you've just said. Suspicious of it because most people look vacant. There's very few who don't, such as yourself, very clearly. John Wheeler, Sailor Bob, etc.
Yeah,
But otherwise, it's yeah, a little bit of a strange
yeah,
area.
yeah, 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 yeah. Doing and not doing is still doing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
understand? Yeah, yeah. You're okay. You're okay. You know, um, see how you go. See how you go. There's a lot of information that kind of came out today. A lot of pointing. If you're able to
No,
grasp that,
thanks for it.
sorry.
I just want to say thanks a lot. It's very alive what you're saying and
Ah, you're
clearly
welcome.
authentic
You-
as well.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let me know how you're getting on.
Thank you. Thanks. No, thanks a
Mm.
lot.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be isolated with this. You don't have to be. I mean, it's a, in that sense, you kind of do have to be. It's your path. It's you. You're doing it on your own. You're looking. Yeah. But if you need to reach out, reach out.
Thank you. I mean, likewise. I don't know why you would, but likewise, if you need.
That's nice. Thank you. That's nice. It's always a two-way street.
Yeah, yeah.
It's always a two-way street. Yeah. Yeah.
What is interesting, and I want to say this still seated from the right position, but what is interesting is included in all this, there does seem to be what I guess you could call essences. Like your essence is different to someone else's essence, different to my essence, or the essence that is coming through this.
No, I won't let you say that. I mean, you can say it, but no, it is the same essence. It's the same essence. The patterning is different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How I pattern, the form is different. Yeah. So the essence is, it's the one essence. Otherwise, it'd be 2 or 3 or 4 or 8 billion different essences. Then it's not non-dual anymore. If it's non-dual, there's one essence. If it's non-dual, there's one. Appearing as more than one, appearing as more than one, but simply one. Yeah.